My name's Ted Harrison. I'm the owner of Vital Exercise in Brightlingsea. We've been in business this year for 40 years and looking forward to many more. I was 11 years old when I developed an interest in exercise, and I was a big fan of Bruce Lee at the time in the early 70s. And my father, who owned a business, was a little bit worried about me jumping around in the back garden. I thought I was going to get myself into a bit of trouble in school, you know, kung-fuing around. So he knew a gentleman that had recently got out of, he was an amateur boxer, and he just recently got out of prison and needed a job. So he came down and saw my father. He knew him, you know, previously. Right. And my dad said, yeah, sure, I'll give you a job, but one of the conditions was I want you to train my son twice a week at our house and teach him how to box properly and lift weights, and just take a bit of time with him and square him up a little bit, you know. So they put together this makeshift gym with a punch bag and some weights and bits and pieces, and that's what he did. Every Wednesday and Saturday afternoon he came up and spent 2 hours with me, you know, a little skinny, and I just developed a love for it. The guy was also very positive. He was a very erudite man, and he taught me a lot about self-reliance and described with real experience about how the fact of lifting weights could be an act of self-reliance and doing stuff yourself, and anything you did was down to you. It wasn't in relation to my parents or any of my friends at school or teachers. Anything I did in the gym, the harder I worked, the better my results were. And that was a good lesson for me, and that's what really started me off on this road to what I now do for a living. I used to do actual bodybuilding, you know, and at one stage, and in my 20s, I used to go in the winter. I used to go over to Los Angeles, which is like you've seen Pumping Iron, right? See, that's like the capital of bodybuilding, you know, Santa Monica. And I used to go out there and spend about 8 to 10 weeks every winter training in Gold's Gym and all these different gyms. And I was also very lucky to have the opportunity to train with a gentleman called Vince Gironda. He was like a legendary Hollywood trainer. His gym was just outside the Hollywood studios, and he trained everyone from Clint Eastwood to you know, everyone you can imagine came. When they wanted to get in shape in those days, they'd go and see Vince. And I had a one-on-one experience with training with him. I mean, to train with Vince Gironda was rather like training with Bruce Lee or with Nuria. He was the top of the tree, you know. So I had a great experience there, and I really learned a lot, because I was very fixed in my ways of doing things. And I learned a lot from Vince, and he was a gym owner, so he also taught me a little bit about the business, you know. And I just learned from, when you go out to California training in these gyms, you know, you just learn a lot, just keeping your mouth shut and watching the big guys do their thing. So they were, for a few years I did that, and that really created me as a trainer, you know, how to do things my way, and now I do things my way. We do one-to-one personal training, so that you'll come in. This is a private gym, so at most there'll be 2 one-to-one clients training at the same time. Or we would do, you know, 2 friends or a couple, man and wife. And we also do small group training, 3 or 4 people train at the same time. We do physiotherapy referrals. The physio send people to us, and we strengthen different areas, knees, lower back and stuff like that. We give nutritional advice. And, you know.
Why did you choose Brightlingsea?
Well, because of that, really. You know, you look outside of here, it's amazing, the boats, and everyone is very, very friendly. You know, we originally, Lorraine and myself, we're from Clacton, so obviously we're very familiar with Brightlingsea. We left Clacton 20 years ago and moved to Manningtree. And a friend of mine, dear friend of mine, we were looking to move locations from the gym we were at, and my friend brought us down here, and this unit was open and empty, I should say. And as soon as I saw it, looked outside, it was just the perfect environment for a gym. You know, it's so spacious and airy, and so it was just a concrete block. But over the course of the last year, we've been in and gradually done it up, and it's just at 61 years old, how long have I got left to be doing this? I don't know. So it's got some nice creature comfort. So, you know, Lorraine and I can stay here and train people for as long as we're able. We're called Vital Exercise, but I really think of this as Ted's gym. You know, you get a little stuck in your ways when you're my age and you've been doing it for so long. So we're not a spa. You know, sometimes people will come in, they think it's a spa, and they can tell us how to do things. But we can and do sack clients if they're not someone we want to work with. So the key message is, if you're going to pay me, trust me to do the job, listen to me, and then you'll make progress. But if you're gonna try and tell me how to do my job, then you've got to go. This gym is a kickback to the corporate gyms. You know, this is a small gym like where I grew up training in little tin huts on cricket pavilions and stuff. This is just a flash version of that. So it's old school values, you know, and that's the way we want to do it.